New champions tonight. As you can see, Sasha Banks Legit Boss shirt. I got this last year in Toronto. The next night, I got the shirt the next night after she came back. So this is an entertainment for the 2020 Hell in a Cell pay-per-view review, and this pay-per-view did not disappoint at all. Couple matches you could throw away, but the main matches, the Hell in a Cell matches, each of them did not disappoint whatsoever. The main event, I would say, is the worst of the three, but it was overall a good pay-per-view. So with that, let's start. So kickoff show, if you didn't see it, R-Truth versus Drew Gulak for the 24/7 title. Before the match, R-Truth did retain. Drew Gulak was, I'm like, hey, little Jimmy, come here. And he was pretending little Jimmy's coming here, give him a high five, whatever, tell him to get on his knee, and he punted little Jimmy, making R-Truth mad, attacking Drew Gulak. And yeah, it was a good match. It was a solid match. I'm not gonna say much about it. This is that R-Truth retained the title, and we'll see what goes on from there. Next, we have a little promo from Ali. He says he's willing to challenge anybody from the Hurt Business. He's willing to put up anybody from the Retribution against anybody from the Hurt Business later on tonight. So we got our first Hell in a Cell match. Surprisingly, it's the Jeyuso versus Roman Reigns for the Universal title Hell in a Cell I Quit match. Let's go to let's see what happens. All right. So you see Roman. Jeyuso makes his entrance. There's a picture of Roman Reigns by the stairs, looking up at the sky, like praying for mercy, like because he knows what he has to do. This whole match was a lot of talking about Roman Reigns. Not trash talking. I wouldn't say it's trash talking. It's just more of a acknowledge me and just quit and this will all end. But over and over. Jeyuso got some good offense in this match. Don't get me wrong. Hit two splashes, gave him a super kick. There was one point when he got a strap under the ring, started ripping Roman Reigns. Like how Hogan would take off his belt when he was NWO, he would start ripping his opponents. Roman Reigns got the same thing, did the exact same thing. There was one instance when Jeyuso got the strap, wrapped it around Roman Reigns into his neck, like trying to choke him out so he could fall asleep or whatever energy. Roman Reigns hit a spear 3 times in his match. He put in that finishing move, the guillotine finishing move, that when he finished off Braun Strowman at the SmackDown premiere. That pretty much took Jeyuso out of the match, but Jeyuso was too tired. He couldn't say I quit. So what he did was he dragged Jeyuso to the turnbuckle, had his head by the turnbuckle. First he gave him a drive-by. Jeyuso refused to say I quit. Set up the stairs on one side. Set up the stairs on one side. Jeyuso's head is in between the stairs, the metal stairs, the steel stairs, and the turnbuckle on the bottom, and the steel turnbuckle. Drive by Roman Reigns once again to the steel steps, deflecting Jeyuso's head into the steel turnbuckle. And the ref was like, that's enough, not enough. And Roman Reigns had enough of the refereeing. He threw him basically over the ropes in the ring. Then all of a sudden he saw another ref come out, and he saw a lot of personnel come out, some other referees and some producers, backstage producers come up, Pat Buck, Adam Pearce, like, no, this is not no Roman Reigns. They couldn't stop him. Even Paul Heyman was like, what the hell is going on? He was getting worried. Like, Paul Heyman was legit afraid of this guy. Okay. So when we pick up the steel steps, Jeyuso was curious. Jeyuso Jeyuso was out cold on the mattress. Jeyuso was picking up the steps like he was about to crush him. Just say I quit. Just say I quit. If he didn't, he would crush him. So Jimmyuso quickly runs in and says, and he starts, what's wrong with you, man? Your family, this is not you. And you see like Roman Reigns start to like remember like who he was, that he's lost. You see him in his emotions, that he started crying that he's lost. Like, yeah, I don't want to be like this, blah, blah, blah. And Jimmy was like, wants to go hug him or to shake his hand, but it was all his plan. It was all just to drag Jimmyuso into the guillotine. Obviously, Jimmyuso's hurt right now. And Jeyuso started to come to, he sees it. He sees his brother in a no-win situation being choked in the guillotine by Roman Reigns, forcing him to say, I quit. And now what this does, it doesn't really kick him out of the family as a SmackDown. It just says the Usos have to do what he tells them. It signifies that once and for all, Roman Reigns is the champion. It's just Jimmy checking on him. And Roman Reigns still champion. Right? Still champion. And Roman Reigns walks back up the stage, and the Alpha and the Sika, his father and the Samoans, were there to greet Roman Reigns. His father, of course, was there to greet Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns stands beside them as tribal chief. Next, we got the Hell in a Cell match. No, not a Hell in a Cell match. Excuse me. We got Jeff Hardy versus Elias. Okay, I'm not just going to get to this. This rivalry is going to continue. It's probably going to be a Raw match tomorrow. Basically what happens is, I'll just get straight to the ending. Jeff Hardy hit the Twist of Fate. Elias is out on the side, moved to the side, goes out of the ring. Jeff Hardy is standing on top of the turnbuckle. He said, step up the turnbuckle outside of the ring. And Elias grabbed the guitar, wanted to hit Jeff Hardy, but Jeff Hardy avoided it. Jeff Hardy got the guitar and hit Elias in the back with it, forcing Jeff Hardy to get disqualified. See Elias' entrance, and this is the aftermath, getting hit by the guitar. See the broken guitar. Jeff Hardy was obviously upset. He knew he got disqualified. He stepped on the guitar to breaking it some more. And yeah, that's it. The Jeff Hardy Elias feud for tonight. And I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a rematch tomorrow. Probably 2 or 3 more matches. You know, the repeats with Raw, SmackDown. They always have repeat matches lately. Next, we got the Miz and Otis, and the winner gets the Money in the Bank contract. So this match is very good. Miz wins, but I'll tell you what happens. This match is actually very solid. Let's get straight to the most important parts. So, you know, John Morrison was trying to get involved. He tried to get involved with the Money in the Bank, hide the Money in the Bank. The referee that caught him was like, "What are you doing?" Kicks him out. Kicks out the Miz. Otis is going for the Caterpillar, right? Miz avoids it because Johnny Morrison pulled him out. That's before this. What happens was Otis had the advantage on the Miz, right? But Miz was pulling. He was trying to drag Miz by the feet, but Miz was pulling the ring apron, and the referee was focused on that. And once Otis was trying to return his focus, a heel turn happened. Tucker was there to be Otis' corner. He had to steal. He had the Money in the Bank briefcase at the time. After Morrison left, hit Otis with it in the face, and Miz gets a 1, 2, 3, and becomes a Money in the Bank briefcase holder. And you can see Miz's face is shocked, and you see a look at Titus. Tucker. He's all serious. Morrison and the Miz had a backstage interview. That was okay. And Tucker comes out like his interview, explaining why he did it. He says basically he's jealous again, like one of those jealous things. He's like, I did everything, all this. I helped him get the girl, everything. I'm the better worker. But he's basically saying Otis has been overshadowing him, which is true. And let's get to that. I love Otis' new theme music, Blue Collar Worker, whatever it's called. And you see Otis come out, attack Miz and Morrison, and go straight for Tucker. And this is good. Now they got the title. The briefcase was wasted on Otis. Otis did not need the briefcase. He wasn't going to do anything for him. He's likable, but he's not championship material. Okay. Miz is more championship material, but he's not going to be a champ. He definitely win off McIntyre. So I'll get to later to that match. And I don't know where Miz goes with the briefcase because I don't see him as championship material anymore. Okay. Now let's get to the match of the night. In my opinion, and maybe the best match of the year in WWE. Finally, we have Bayley and Sasha Banks for the SmackDown Women's Championship. This is the only title Sasha Banks has never held. NXT title she's held, Raw Women's title she held, and the Women's Tag Team title held, ironically, with her best friend Bayley twice. 2019 the first, and in 2020, like around July or June, whatever. So Sasha Banks comes on the first in a nice right gear. Love it. Bayley comes. I'll get to that later. Bayley comes. The steel chair and has role model paint all over it. You do the introductions. Sasha Banks managed to hit or push Bayley, forcing Bayley to let go of the chair that went flying out of the Hell in a Cell before officially closing. And the match ran away. Now let me tell you something. Banks could take a beating. She takes a lot of bumps. I can see why there's a lot of people have injury concerns with her, like, because she takes massive bumps. She's done it for her whole career. So, the one spot I loved, my favorite spot of the whole match, they were outside in the red cell. Bayley was up against the corner where the cell is, right? There was a table there. It was kind of like up there. And as Sasha Banks ran up the table to give her a Meteora over the cell. And then Meteora over the table, ran up the table and gave her the Meteora to Bayley. And then seconds later, she put her back in the ring and ran on the turnbuckle, give her a Meteora off the turnbuckle. That's one of my favorite spots of the match. There was a spot when Sasha Banks was on the apron, was off the apron, not on the apron, but she was on the ground, and she kind of power bombed Bayley into the steel cage, the cell. There was a spot where Bayley tried to give an elbow drop to Sasha Banks on the ladder, I believe the ladder, and she missed, and she hurt her elbow, obviously. Bayley did a sunset bomb to Sasha Banks into the turnbuckle. I believe there's a steel chair there, some poor weapon, I forget. They use the candlesticks a lot. I think Bayley was going to use in one spot, put the candlesticks, 2 candlesticks into the one lying on top of the apron and one into the holes of the cell, but nothing came to that. I think that was a botch thing. I think something didn't work out there. There was a spot where Sasha Banks was clearly out cold. Oh yeah. She was lying down on the mattress. Half her body was in the mattress in the apron, right? Half her was on top of the mattress, and half her was in the apron. You know that Nikki Cross pulls out the ring like that? It's kind of like that. She beat up Sasha Banks by hitting her, and she hit her with the candlestick a couple of times. You think Bayley and Sasha Banks are out cold? This is before the candlesticks in the thing. She goes check on that. She wasted about a good 5 minutes, Bayley, on that. She goes check on Sasha Banks, and Sasha had a fire extinguisher and released it in front of Bayley. Okay. And it looked like Bayley didn't affect her that much. So just so she can see, Sasha Banks took advantage of that, beat the crap out of her, but Bayley managed to get the upper hand. Sasha Banks gave her the Bayley suplex, Bayley's own finishing move, and she kicked out. Bayley gave her finishing moves outside. Sasha Banks kicked out. She gave her the Bayley suplex to Sasha Banks. She kicked out, and what happened was, when Bayley was going for a move, there's a steel chair, and what happened was Sasha Banks countered it, set up the steel chair, put it into the, was it a steel chair? I forget what it was, put it into the back statement. Yeah, I think it was a steel chair, put it in the back statement, forcing Bayley to tap out and ending her 388 title reign of SmackDown Women's Champion, officially making Sasha Banks SmackDown Women's Champion and a Grand Slam champion, NXT Women's Tag Team title, Raw Women's Champion, now SmackDown Women's Championship. And this is her shocked that she won. She was looking at Bayley for like a good maybe minute or two, and then she held up the title with her foot over Bayley's back in defeat. There you go, Sasha Banks. She's done it. Now, the key with Sasha Banks, she has to successfully defend her title and not lose. And everybody's like, oh, she never successfully defended the title. On the main roster, you're completely right. But NXT in 2015, that fatal four-way between 4 horsewomen, Sasha Banks won that match. I think it was a February takeover or an NXT special. I think it wasn't a takeover yet, but Sasha Banks won that match. And about 3 or 4 months later, she faced Becky Lynch in another takeover, her NXT special, and defeated Becky Lynch. That's her only title win that she successfully defended. So you're right on the main roster, but you're not 100% right in her whole career. Now we got this match. We got Bobby Lashley, like MVP was talking in the interview, MVP in the Hurt Business. MVP's like, you know what? Bobby Lashley's willing. I'll put the United States title on the line, and they can send her whoever they want. So we get Bobby Lashley standing in the ring. We don't know who they're sending in. Retribution sends Slapjack alone, and yeah, Bobby Lashley pretty much wins. After that, we get Retribution to attack Bobby Lashley. In Her Business comes to the fight off Retribution. You see Retribution there. And you know, Retribution's dead in the water. You can say whatever you say. Ali can say whatever promo is, but in the ring, it's complete opposite way he's saying it's just not working. Who here is going to be a guy is going to be a big, who here is a big threat? Ali is not a big threat. I know a lot of people like him, but he's not a big threat. Especially Slapjack. Who is he going to be? He's going to be the guy that's going to get to beat up the most. And you see Mia Yim. They haven't done anything with Mia Yim Retribution. What's her name? Retribution. What's her name? Retaliation or I forget her name. They haven't done anything with her. Like on Raw with the Fiend, I would have had Alexa Bliss catch her outside because in the beginning of this segment, she was there with the Fiend and Alexa Bliss in the ring. She was there with Retribution, but she left the ring when Her Business came out because obviously they don't want to get her involved with the males. But when the Fiend came out to attack, Fiend appeared on the apron beside Retribution and attacked him. I would have had Alexa Bliss backstage or something with Mia Yim and give her sister Abigail. I don't know. And I'm calling Mia Yim because I don't like what they're doing with either of this group, and neither is the majority of people. Okay. Now we get the Hell in a Cell match between Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton. Boy, this cell match was good. It was the worst of the 3. But this is the match they used to sell the most. The jeyuso Woman Reigns match was mostly storytelling. They didn't use to sell as much. Sasha Banks and Bayley, yeah, they used to sell more than the Roman Reigns jeyuso match. But they used a lot of weapons in that match. This match they used to sell the most. You see Drew putting Randy Orton's face into the cage here, the jaw. Remember the broken jaw of Randy Orton. And here you see after putting Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton as kind of returns a favor by Drew McIntyre's face in the Raw. You see the tongue out, and you see Randy Orton had the black shirt, the black pants, or whatever. I think it was over Drew McIntyre, because remember, before the match officially started, Randy Orton attacked Drew through the entrance. Well, Drew was making his entrance, right? So, and he was wearing pants. Drew took off the shirt. So throughout this match, they used to sell a lot. I'm gonna just get this out of the way, guys. They go on top of sell. Randy Orton first Drew. Like Drew was basically like Randy Orton at this point was basically having Drew's number. So Randy Orton climbed up the cell. Drew looks up and climbs up the cell, right? And they fought in the cell for a good bit. Drew was down. Randy Orton started to climb down. So Drew started to follow him. And they're both on the side of the cell. And Randy Orton definitely had the advantage. He was hitting Drew. Drew started hitting Randy. And I just saw this spot with Randy Orton whispering to Drew McIntyre's ear or whatever. That was, he was telling him, are you ready or whatever. It's like, that's when two wrestlers are going at it, like, secretly telling them what's going to happen, what they're going to do. And you could tell that's what Randy Orton said to Drew, like, are you ready for this? Because what happens next? Randy Orton managed to get Drew McIntyre to fall off the cell onto the announce table. And it was a turning point in the match. Drew was, like, done for. He was bleeding internally. And obviously you can't win, right? Outside the match, outside the cell, you have to win in the ring, right? So Randy Orton climbs down the cell, manages to drag Drew's body slowly. Drew is basically dead at this point. He got him in the ring. Drew is down. Randy Orton was going for the RKO, and all of a sudden, last gas thing. Drew managed to recover. Gave him a Claymore, and Randy Orton was a little bit out. Drew, he's still tired and beat up. This was it. Last gas. That Claymore was the last gas. He was going for that. He was setting up for the Claymore one more time, but Randy Orton ducked and quickly gave Drew the RKO. 1, 2, 3. Your new WWE champion, Randy Orton, the Legend Killer, the Viper champion. And here I'm standing tall over Drew McIntyre. And here's him at the gorilla position, top of the gorilla position, looking back at Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre recovers, looks back at Randy Orton. Randy Orton has the title over his shoulder. And this is the picture to end the show. So there you have it. So Roman Reigns retains. Jeff Hardy gets the Scoffy. Elias wins. Miz is the new Money in the Bank briefcase holder. Sasha Banks, Grand Slam champion. Bobby Lashley beats Slapjack. And Randy Orton is the new WWE champion. So, to finish us off, all cell matches are good. The Miz Otis matches are good. The Jeff Hardy Elias, whatever you could call it. Slapjack, Bobby Lashley, who cares this? Nobody cares about that because everybody knew the storyline Retribution, her business is dumb. And I'm going to give this pay-per-view 8 out of 10 only because I could give it a 9. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 only because the Sasha Banks and Bayley match was better than the NXT Brooklyn match, the first one. And it was, I think, my favorite match of the year of 2020. And I'm just going to end it with this. Lita and Trish Stratus, 2 Hall of Famers, 2 probably most popular women in WWE history. But rivalry or allies, they were the top of the world. Relationship-wise, okay? But Sasha Banks and Bayley, Charlotte and Becky are close up there, but they're not as close as Bayley and Sasha Banks. Their friendship rivalry has been 5 years. They know each other in the ring better than anybody. Bayley, arguably, is the best worker in the ring for females. Maybe even in the WWE. Sasha Banks, so I feel like putting her body on the line, one of the best characters. They just know each other, and I put them up there second to this Trish Stratus, Lita kind of rivalry / friendship relationship they have. That's my opinion. So comment, subscribe down below. Thank you. And tell me, what did you guys think?